I'm in frame, aren't I?
I think so. You ready? Well, hello everyone. I am Bob.
I'm Carrie.
This is 25 Plus Life, and today we're in a tropical paradise at the end of January. Tropical would have been nice, but we are actually in Myrtle Beach State Park. We've been here for just about 7 days now, and we decided after this is our 4th or 5th trip down in just a couple of years, which makes one of our favorite state parks on the East Coast. And we've been reluctant and hesitant, I guess, to film a video here because every time we go to do it, we just spend time doing something else. As you can see, the beach here, absolutely pristine. And we're going to show you a little bit what makes this state park such a fantastic draw and a fantastic destination for us. We're going to start with way down there, that pier. Hopefully you can pick that up. This is the new GoPro 10 that we're playing with here because our 7, rest in peace, decided it was going to crap out on us. So that is the pier that they do fishing off of, and the fishing here is amazing. If you are into saltwater fishing, we have actually watched somebody catch a baby shark there. So all kinds of stuff. And as Carrie alluded to just a second ago, there's some horses up here that they do horseback riding on the beach through a separate company. If I remember to, I'll put a link in the description below for that. But we'll come up here. So just a moment ago, a couple of horses went by, followed by a guy with a dog about the size of a horse. So yes, this campground is very dog friendly. Again, very horse friendly too, with the amount of people that come through here. Horseback riding. This to our right of us here, it's the actual horse trail from the parking lot down to the beach. Over here is all fields with a lovely bench down there. If you and your partner want to hang out and just take in the sights, just over the dunes, check out the Atlantic Ocean. We have a few more horses come down, and then we're going to take you through and show you one of the loops. We're going to show you our site, which we tend to stay towards the back of the campground. And then we'll give you a tour of the laundry facilities, along with the bathhouses, if we can get in there. Other than that, yeah, so it's about 5 horses coming. Yeah. So I'm hoping. So this microphone had a whatchamacallit, I'm going to change the direction.
Well, that's nice.
What's that?
That they have somebody up front and they have somebody bringing up the rear. Like one of the professional people. And not just like leaving people behind on a horse.
That'd be terrible. Yeah, I'll definitely want to link to this company that does the horseback riding on the beach. I think there's a couple of them here. When we looked into doing this a couple of years ago, right at the start of the pandemic, the tours were limited, so we weren't able to do it. I honestly forgot about doing it this time. So yeah, so there's that. So next time down we'll have to do this. But this is all the staging area and some absolutely beautiful horses, and they do an amazing job. Anyhow, so coming in from the main road, you're going to come down here, come down to the staging area, and depending on the amount of volunteers they have at the time, you're going to check in at 1 or 2 places. You're going to check in either here at this little guard shack, if it's lit up, obviously, the host station. And if not, you're going to pull straight ahead to the ranger station, and it's actually a little camp store. And inside that camp store, they have a small amount of supplies and souvenirs. Your basic, you know, I forgot my hose, you know, that kind of stuff. If you really want souvenirs, the gift shop to the end of the pier is the one to go to. All kinds of Myrtle Beach souvenirs, some really nice shell art, and I think they have ice cream.
Don't they do the temporary fishing licenses from there.
Yeah,
also.
if you're a resident of South Carolina, or if you're an out-of-stater, either way you're going to need a license. They'll issue that right there. And I also believe, in addition to selling bait and tackle, they'll also supply you with a fishing pole for rent as well. So.
And the only way to get to the pier is through the stores.
Right. When we came here a couple of years ago, the side gates to the pier were open. Now it looks like it's all secure, and it's only for the only way in is to go through that store, which is funny because they actually had some good stuff in there.
Yeah, they did.
So we'll come down here, and where we're going to take you is we're in 296, 293. We're in that area, and we'll show you that loop. Yeah. Right. As we test out the new microphone mod for the GoPro 10, hopefully this will pick up on the directional side, because this would be the last loop, and it's going to take you up to Circle 6 where we're staying, 293 to 336. This loop for us, bring in, hello.
Hi.
This loop for us is probably one of the nicest loops because I think it's the quietest. And we've stayed in the middle in the 90s before, not 90s the decade, but 93 I believe was the site number. We stayed there before. It tends to get very tight, and even with our micro mini, getting in and out of the site was kind of hectic. So these tend to give you a little more space. As you can see, this lower loop, not so much action here. The winter weather coming in is kind of halted a few things, because when we booked about a month and a half ago, this place was fully sold out. So we're noticing now that a lot of people did not fill those reservations because the temperatures have dipped down. There's been a couple of nights it's been below freezing, and you know, winter camping even in South Carolina is not for everybody. But these are sites 183 and 185. See, these are on the smaller as far as depths go, but they're good for, you know, smaller Class C's, Class B, tent camping, things of that nature, which surprisingly enough, there's quite a few sites that are doing tent camping, which blows my mind. This is site 189. As you can see, this would be more for a fifth wheel or a Class A, very deep. And a little tip from somebody who's been here a few times now, I always go with the larger sites because my rig as well as the camper together is pretty darn long, and I like to be able to park them one on top of each other as opposed to side off and everything else. So, well, you can see for the most part, and this again, this would be technically the off season, the grounds here are immaculate. The park rangers and stuff, they're probably some of the friendliest that we've been throughout the country. They do give you a pass so you can come and go as you please. There's also a gate at the end. So the gate locks at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock now.
Yep.
Yep.
And they give you a 4-digit code and get in and get out. It's pretty good there too. So that, and then here, so we start to pass like 197, 198. We're going to come up to Circle 6, which I think if you're anything bigger, these sites here is where to go. As you start to get into the center loops, it's a little bit tough. But we'll bring you up here. As you can hear, it's roughly 11 o'clock in the morning, and it is quiet. It tends to be that way all the time.
Yeah.
This is one of the only few state parks that we've been in that you don't have, no matter what time of year we've been here, you don't have an abundance of children running around being disruptive. I've always found this to be an older crowd here, which we like that. Nothing against kids, but we've raised ours. And this is our time now. So, like, and again, with a state park, you always anticipate a lot of children running around, stuff like that. Not the Disney levels,
No.
like when we were at Fort Wilderness, but still you expect that, you anticipate that. Never really been the case here. They do have amenities for children. They have a nice playground and stuff like that. But for
I
the
don't
most
know,
part,
the kids that I've seen here, they're like more, they're fishing.
yeah, a lot of the kids do the fishing
Yeah.
here, which is a child caught a baby shark. Yeah, I'm not going to sing that song. So this is our site. This is 296. And I'm actually probably going to walk over and borrow site 298 because we were exploring this site earlier with our metal detectors. And this is a little bit smaller. You get the general gist. You have your water hookup. You also have your electrical. And then over here you have your sewer. My only complaints over the past year or so, they must have upgraded the sewer here. And the Winnebago is really low. And these sewer connections are really tall. So you end up playing the slinky game, get everything done. But small price to pay. For your hookups, standard 30 amp service. They do have 50 amps on certain sites, and then they have the 110. And then over here you have a picnic table, and then you have your fire ring over here. Certain things to point out: you are in an active flight path between here and Myrtle Beach Airport. It can at times get loud. There also must be a military base close by, because we've seen a lot of Navy planes going through. It's never been to the point where it's obnoxiously loud. I think Virginia Beach.
Not like when we were in Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia Beach KOA was 10 times worse than this. We've always just dealt with it. We do get about 40 channels over the air as far as our digital antenna goes. The one thing I will say is I tilt you up. A lot of sites here, not really good for like Dish Network. As far as Xfinity Mobile, what I was able to get for signal here was roughly 2 bars of 5G, which is not bad. Not the greatest, but not bad. And that seems to be pretty much standard fare everywhere around Myrtle Beach for Xfinity. Might be higher and lower in certain areas. But again, this is our site, which is a little bit longer. And you can see here, same amenities, picnic table, stuff like that. And it's all through here. And again, this is one of the reasons we like this back loop. There's nobody behind us. There's nobody going to run in and out of our site. We like that. So the only thing they do tell you is that if you come up here in the summer is to walk scuffing your feet, because there tends to be snakes back here. We've never seen them, but I'm quite sure they're in the area. So that's it. We're going to take you through to the bathhouse now, and then we're going to say our adieus. But cost-wise, I think I paid $60 to $65 a night. There are certain sites here that are less money because they're smaller. I believe you can get a tent-only site down here for like $30, and you could probably get it even a little bit cheaper as there's stuff that's outside of the gate. There's a couple of sites there, but for the most part, every time of the year that we've been here, it's roughly $60 to $65 a night. We paid just shy of $400 for the week that we've been here. So again, not bad. It's when given the choice between here and the KOA that we reviewed, which if you haven't seen that video, you can go in our playlist and see that. The KOA down the road is roughly the same amount of money, maybe about $10 more a night. Their Wi-Fi is spectacular. So if you're working from home, the KOA might be it for there. But to be able to walk this loop and be at the beach in a matter of 3 minutes far surpasses the need for Wi-Fi, at least for this particular trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, this here is site 305, and I believe 304 is over here. So we're going to take you down to the bathhouses and show you what we find in here. All right, this is the men's bathhouse. Here you have a couple of shower stalls right here. Pretty basic stuff. And then you have your sinks, urinal, toilets. I will say, I don't want to use the facilities because we have everything on board. Kind of foolish for me to go utilize something like that. But they're always immaculate here. This particular one does not have laundry facilities, but there are 2 on property that have, I think it's roughly 6 of the wash machines and 6 dryers, always impeccably clean. Decor is about the same inside. That's pretty much it. From here, we're going to leave you. If you are looking for a campground in the Myrtle Beach area, we highly, highly, highly recommend Myrtle Beach State Park. A close second, if we ever get back over there, will be Huntington Beach State Park. We did like that as well. But for the most part, this is our go-to. As you hear the planes going by, this is still hands down our go-to place to get away and just to be one with the world, so to speak. That's it. If you found anything interesting in this video and you made it this far, we'd appreciate a little thumbs up action. Maybe a comment down below. If you've been here before, is there something that we missed? Something that you would have liked to have seen? Or simply just to say,
Because we'll come back.
yeah, we'll come back and do another review. You don't have to dare us twice.
Yeah, no.
But if there's anything we missed, anything you want to add, please do. And please consider subscribing. It's free to you. It doesn't cost her anything. It doesn't cost me anything.
Well.
And it does help us out. Until then, another one in the bag.